What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets with Adam Perry, and we're going to be taking an early look at the MLB slate. I did speak with Bobby last week. I'm actually going to see him. He's coming through town in next week, and we're actually going to go to the Yankee game. As far as DFS goes, I had a pretty good weekend because I got like second or third in some showdown on in PGA, which if I was watching it, I probably would have gotten a little mad. I think I needed a birdie for like 100,000 in like the last hole or something like that. But I didn't know at the time, so it doesn't count as a bad beat. You know, I reverse engineered the bad beat because not having been there. And then of course, if I'd gotten a birdie then maybe I wouldn't have gotten a birdie like 14 holes earlier, which I did. We wouldn't have counted, of course, in the bad beat discussion.
Right.
But I tell the real hero. I mean, I want to. Who is crafty NASCAR genius?
Does he lose? Like,
I don't think so. I don't think he loses. I don't know who he is. Does he know anything about NASCAR even, or does he just win?
I don't know. I know nothing about NASCAR and I lose. So maybe he knows something about NASCAR and he wins.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the there's death taxes, sunrise, sunset, and me waking up to like a crafty lefty NASCAR hit. It's unbelievable.
It's like 4 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah,
I mean, last week you didn't like win.
In the most varied, impossible DFS sport in the United States.
Yeah, not for Kraft.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into today, and for everybody, I'm going to attempt to be there at 5:30 today. And once we get into August, I'll be out of the Hamptons. So we'll have to retire this laptop again for another year, and we'll be back to perform my regular computers. Okay. First of all, I did look, and I didn't see any particular weather. Did you notice anything or no?
No, there's nothing. The only place there's like a yellow on Ross thing is Colorado. And it's like green yellow, so it's probably fine. He says the rain's likely cleared by game time, but yeah, it is Colorado, so it kind of matters more than when it's anywhere else. So, like always, monitor it, but not a lot of weather to report.
Well, just for the hell of it, I'm just gonna share my screen with my projection just to get to see what's up, because there's actually a big tournament tonight. Is turn 2, which I'm playing, so I'll just take a look at it a little closer. I mean, I shouldn't do it this way, but I just do. Oh, I actually want to seed into some FanDuel WNBC thing. Some world championship takes place in August.
Okay.
They're the worst. These are like the worst. I don't know why I play these things, because all you end up doing is you end up in a stacked field against tough competition. Like, it's ridiculous. But
it depends what kind of overlay you get on them, right?
What's that?
It depends if you get overlay on them.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt we'll get it.
Sometimes these don't fill.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, so when I first looked at the slate, I thought that it was going to be a DeGrom slate. This is like last night when I looked at it. And if because he was the original probable pitcher I had, at least, and if that were the case, he'd probably be 1 billion% owned, I guess. So he's not in. I'm looking at the pitchers, and again, just kind of eyeballing it. I can't imagine anybody being the chalk. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine anybody being that popular. Like Carlos Rodon's the highest like priced guy, and he's not even getting it, for me at least. He's barely getting a decent projection at all at 10K. So you have all these dudes, like all these cheapos that all look pretty decent. So I'm curious to see what we end up actually getting. And then as far as the stacks go, again, I have to figure out how to do this right, where it automatically just changes to the next sheet that I want to share. Because I'm not exactly, because if I share the screen, I have a. You know what? Let's do this. I want to test this. So I'm going to share my whole screen, and the first thing it should show is kind of that weird thing where it goes, whatever. But let me know if right now. Hold on, I'm going to change this to my projections, and does this look now like it's showing my stack projections, or is it still something funny in the screen?
It's still no. This looks perfect.
Oh, okay. So the only thing is I can't see the chat from here, but it's okay. So I'll just start talking, I guess.
We could talk. The only question that Deep Hope's coming back. Deep Hope, good luck. And then we got a question: when's Bobby coming back?
Yeah, well, you know what? When you tell me. But
Yeah, I don't know.
probably first week October. That'd be excuse me, August. That'd be my guess. That's when he's leaving New York, I think, to go back home. So I guess that's it.
Are the Yankees playing the Dodgers or something, or are you just going to a game?
No. I just I knew he was coming through here, so
Nice.
we're going to like the I think Tampa Bay or something like that.
Nice.
All right. So it's looking like, I guess the Cardinals are playing Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah, I could just tell by the ownership. I don't even know, I don't know anything else. So they look like they have a good projection, but it doesn't really stand out as far as I'm concerned. So I'm gonna have no problem fading that. If Saberson gives me the authority to do that, again, just gazing at it, I mean, like Houston would look certainly reasonable, and less ownership. San Francisco, I guess. I don't know. So impossible to just like predict what kind of stacks.
Yeah, that's the thing with the pitchers. No one looks like chalk, but we'll find out if we get like a lot of exposure on someone.
Yeah, so this is what we'll do. So I don't know what you've done so far. So what we usually do when Adam and I do things together, we'll build sort of we'll build independently, and we'll just use either different projections or the same projection. Just continue to learn what the old version, the new SaberSim version, the different things that you can get to, and different processes that we use, and hopefully you guys come up with stuff better. And that's how we all try to get better. So DraftKings, first thing you do, again, what I do is I always upload my entries, and I always enter dummy lineups to start off with, just so that I can have it customize the contest sims and everything like that. So you'll see what I'm playing here. Did I not even? Yeah, I'm playing 150 in the $8, and then I think I'm playing a couple of entries in that turn two, and then one in I think the warning track or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. So again, you'll see everybody again. This is your first time here, and when you do it this way, you look in the contest tab, and it like pre-populates like everything you're playing. Oh, I'm playing 5 in this thing. Okay, we'll see.
5 in the big 250, like the
yeah, in the 222.
Two. Okay.
Yeah, in the 222. So here we're in this portfolio diversification mode. 2 ways that you're in that mode is, number one, you see this little skull and crossbones thing or whatever, and the other thing is you see this tab here says switch to classic. So that means that you're not in classic if they tell you you have the option to switch to classic. So one thing I've been talking about a lot is that you knew this was going to happen. With a lot of people using SaberSim, people start to get this idea that, well, everybody's just doing the same thing, everybody's playing the same lineups, everybody's pushing the same buttons, and blah 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 blah, and it's just so far from the truth. There's so many decisions that you need to make along the way that it's just not even remotely like that. Like you could have 5 people do almost the exact same process with the same projections and get 5 completely different builds. I remember, you don't remember this, but a long time ago when you first started playing, we were I gotta find this exchange once. We were playing League of Legends, and you were saying almost like, oh, is it like even fair that like we're doing this, and like it's yeah, and it's like isn't everybody just going to do the same thing, whatever it is, and maybe League of Legends it could have gotten that way, but even League of Legends, people are getting all kinds of craziness with all the 4-2s and the game stacks and stuff. But baseball, there's so many freaking combinations that it doesn't matter. But the reason I mention it is right from the jump. Like let's really discuss like all the decisions you need to make, even when you're doing a quote unquote automated process, right? So I guess first question is do you even use which version you use. But we'll get to that. So I'm just using the regular version. But then the next question is what projections you use, right? Because if you have SaberSim, you can use the SaberSim projections. If you subscribe through SaberSim through like a site like either TrueDFS or RunPure or whoever, you'll probably have the option to get their projections. Not to mention the ability to average them, which is most sites have the ability to do. And not to mention, if you have your own custom projections, you can put them in. Do you use your projections, someone else's ownership projections, whatever it is? So that in and of itself is the very first decision that you kind of have to make. So in that realm, right now I am going to use my projections that I just created and threw up there. Now again, if you're going to do that, it's your own custom things. You have to learn how to upload them to the template. The other way you can get used to doing this is if you get on TrueDFS and you don't go straight to SaberSim for whatever reason, like some people still have like a TrueDFS membership and then they go outside to go to SaberSim. They download it, the TrueDFS projections, and they upload it this way. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. The next decision you have to make, even at this point, is whether to click this button, this automatically create custom fields from ownership. And what that will do is then give you another decision to make, of which gives you another contest field to choose from. And again, in my view on this is that you can do this with some sports and get away with it, but not with sports like baseball, because like in golf, in MMA, maybe not even MMA, but in golf, in tennis, or whatever it is, there's no real nuance to creating a contest field if you're just playing uncorrelated assets. So if you have a good ownership projection, you may as well put it in there. But with baseball, it's not so simple as getting an ownership projection, because you really need to figure out what the stack ownership is going to be and like the combinations of all this stuff. So I don't have it in me to suggest that my ownership projections are going to then create this portfolio of lineups that's going to match what SaberSim can do, even if, and I'm rambling, but not even rambling, I'm just saying a lot of things at the same time. Even if maybe even SaberSim's fields aren't that great sometime either, I just find it very difficult to believe that on any kind of regular basis you're going to do better.
Yeah, because when you're building lineups, you're conceivable. I mean, what we're trying to do is build good lineups. And one of the problems, I mean, that there's a lot of problems with building your own field, but one of the problems is you want to capture how many bad lineups there are too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very hard to do.
So what? First of all, so which projections are you going to use, by the way?
Okay, so I'm going to use. I have a build with yours, I have a build with Goldies, and I have a build with SaberSims.
Oh,
so
sick.
we can compare all of them.
Nice. Yeah. Now the next thing again. Okay, so you put everybody's put their projections. Everybody's made their decision of what they're going to use. So next question is I mean, I guess. Well, first of all, how many lineups you're going to run, but you'll run the most that you have access to. Let's all presume that we're all going to run the same, the max that we have access to. And then what changes you're going to make before you run stuff. Now, look at all the. And this is SaberSim reporting back to the people, man. The people were like, "Listen, we want some control. We want to make some decisions, whether it's good for us or not." So they'll give you the opportunity to do that. You could change the minimum salary. You can change the maximum salary. You can go through and say, you know what? I don't care what we do with these lineup constructions. I don't want more than 30% Brandon Woodruff. So before you run anything, you could put 30% in here and that type of thing. Or, and we'll get to this, you can tell it before it even runs whether you want, only a certain type of stack in baseball. So at this point, I mean, Adam and I are very similar with one thing, is that we don't make any like individual player or stack exposure or team stack exposure requirement pre-flop. But sometimes we go back and forth between whether you don't go back and forth, I go back and forth between whether I demand a certain level of stack before I even run my 20,000 or 10,000 lineups. And it's a very healthy, it's not even a debate. I mean, like, it's just, we just don't know the answer. But
Yeah.
I'm slowly but surely like coming around to the idea that if I'm not going to play the way Adam puts it, dude, if you're not going to play a 3-3 anyway, why even include it in your 20,000? You know what I mean? Like, so I've been doing a little more of that. So for this particular slate, because it's an enormous slate, I'm just going to presume that a 5-man stack is winning, sort of. So the way you do that, and I never knew this until I watched Adam do it, is I used to literally go uncheck all these that I didn't want. You could just click this button here and uncheck them all, and now you're getting no stacks. And now you can just manually say what you want. So 5-3 is good, 5-2 is fine. I think 5-0s are fine. And again, biases, whatever. I've just won too many slates with 4-4s to not play them. So I'm going to include them into my mix.
Were your 4-4s built were they late swaps, or did you
I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's the way to go, right?
I have no idea. I just include them, and we'll see what happens. What now? I'm going to start building. As I build a 20,000, tell me what you did as far as your pre-flop adjustments.
I only did 5,000 because I used the TrueDFS interface. Okay. I just want to do it exactly how our followers and subs are doing it. And so I built 5,000. I didn't make any changes because I thought you didn't make any changes.
See, that's what we GTO'd each other.
We flip-flopped.
That's it.
But normally I would do exactly what you did, and I would leave the 4-4s on. I think I will say the less lineups you have to build, the more you should do this. Like if you get 20,000 lineups, you could be a little bit more diverse with what you let in. But if you only get 5,000, you want to make them count, right? And you don't want to have 500 that are just going to grade like crap anyway when you could have had 500 that are potential candidate lineups. So in my 5,000, I didn't make any changes because I didn't think you were, and I wanted us to have like a kind of a perfect experiment.
Nice.
But so the only difference is our projections. But I think this is fine. It suffices. We got a question from Deep Hope too. I don't know if you could see the chat, but
no.
Deep Hope saying, when we use other than SaberSim projections and projections update and either players we have projections for are out, vice versa, how do we approach? So my thing, Deep Hope, it depends how much time you have. Like if you have enough time, just rebuild. It doesn't take that long. If it's like NBA, then maybe you have to manually adjust, like you said. But with baseball, you're almost always going to have the time. So I would just rebuild with the new lineup. That's my take. I don't know what you think, Sheets.
Can you repeat his question again?
When we use other than SaberSim projections and projections update and players we have projections for are out, or vice versa, players you are in, right. How do you approach it? Right.
So this is what you're supposed to do. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is rerun your entire projection set. And then rebuild everything. Okay. That's what you should do. Like as Adam said, if you have enough time, / if you have enough computer power, you know what I mean? Like if you could actually do it. And so like for me, right, the way I have to rerun everything because I don't have it, it's not particularly fast what I do. It takes me a full at least 20 minutes to run like a whole nother projection set, right? Not to mention then I want to upload it to the site for the members and stuff like that. So I, depending on how much time I have, what else is going on in my life, you know what I mean? Like what you're supposed to rebuild everything because technically if one player is out, then, I mean, you really want to be technical, then the whole slate should change. Like sort of.
I mean, this should only matter, and not only matter, but to me, the way I build, this only matters in the case of a scratch, not in the lineups coming out differently, because I'm not going to, I see no reason to build right before post. I mean, you could make one initial build early in the day just so you have dummy lineups in.
Right.
But then I'm building, like if it takes me 20 minutes, I'm building 20 minutes before lock.
That's right. No, 100%. But now, so technically, if like if you have a guy, take the most modest discrepancy, a guy that was supposed to hit 6 that's now hitting 7 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really ran that through a perfect AI machine, it would change the entire slate. You know what I mean? Because it'd be a little less likely that somebody else scores, and then that would impact their fantasy points a little bit more, which means that another team would be less relative value and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Okay.
You know how
But
we know this is because when we build using your projections, or we build using Saber Sims, or we build using Goldies, we get different lineups.
that's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. So now the reality is what I do. Okay, so there are 2 ways you could do it. Now, well, several ways you could do it. If you want to be really lazy, not say really lazy, let's just say that with like 5 minutes to post or 10 minutes to post time, one of your guys is scratched, okay, from a lineup. You can just SaberSim will give you a notification there, and then you click something, it will make suggestions to automatically replace that one guy with depending on how many times you have him and what the rest of your lineups look like an assortment of guys, okay, that makes those lineup work. And that is it. Okay, that's good in that you don't have a 0 anymore, okay, but it's certainly not building lineups right. It's certainly not capturing correlation right. It 100% not capturing, contest sims right or whatever. But at the very left part of the spectrum, that is certainly something you could do. What I found, I bet you, like in between my two ideas are several good middling ideas of what to do. What I do is this: if there's like a scratch and it's like SaberSim updated its projections, okay, and I don't have time to update all mine, I will go back into what I did of my builds here, and I will just change that team uh to SaberSim's projections. I'll keep everything else because like the same, and I will just change SaberSim's. I will just change that team to have all SaberSim projections.
Let me make one suggestion.
Yeah.
You should change that team and their opponent.
That yes. Now that is the next that'd be the next
because
level.
because how they over 100,000 sims, play-by-play sims, how
Yeah.
they perform affects how the opponent performs.
That's right. That's right. And now again, there's positives and negatives and all this stuff. And one of unfortunately the negatives is that when you mix and match like projection sets, and this is really splitting hairs, honestly. But like when you mix and match projection sets, mix and match them, it does screw around with the builds. You know what I mean? Like if you have like half the lineups are using Saber Sims, for example, and half are using like a blend. Like the Saber Sim projections like feed off one another. You know what I mean? Like so if the Saber Sim, like what they have is if their 2-hitter is going to affect their 4-hitter. And so it's a little it's not the best, but it's certainly I think a very pleasant like alternative to having to redo everything. So those are a couple of ideas. I'm sure there are others.
The main point is wait as long as you can to get as many lineups as you can known. The more the closer to lock you could build, the better.
Well, and the other thing is that while that's true, if you also have time, even just during the day, like to do an early build, even though you're not going to use it, it's really important because it just gets you practice doing it.
Yeah.
And where it normally would take you 30 minutes, to do something, if you do it enough times, it becomes 15 minutes and things like that. So
yeah, and you don't screw up as much.
As much.
Good practice. As much. Yeah.
So just gonna see what's going on in the background here. So I ran the lineups. I ran the sims. I didn't make any changes to the contest fields. And listen, they give you a lot of opportunities to make changes. They really do. Like if you went into this contest field tab, you could change something even as subtle as for the mega 2 turn 2. Instead of using high stakes 20 max, I'll use high stakes MME for that contest field, and even that will change things. So like the more things that they give you to change, almost like the less I want to use them. So anyway, so it ran the Sims, and now it's quote unquote diversifying lineups, and this is tough to explain because I literally don't know what it's doing. What it says it's doing is taking into account all the stuff that you put in, and it's spreading the risk out in kind of a smart and intelligent way, in a way that they're really not saying how they're doing it, and just saying that it works, and that should be good enough for most people, because it's going to save some reputation for doing this kind of thing. I unfortunately know a little too much about the portfolio management in general. So I am just incredibly, I would say, suspicious. I'm going to go so far as to say, and I've said this before on stream, I promise you that in 2 years, if they continue to develop this, they're going to go look back at what they have now and they're going to say, oh my God, that was atrocious. Okay. I promise you that what they have is bad. I don't know how or why. I just that's the way technology and progress works, but it's got to be better. And this is what Jordan kind of stressed. It's got to be better than just the straight min uniques thing. Okay. Because the way you described it, min uniques is kind of like weird when you think about it. Like the way min uniques works is, okay, so the second lineup's got to be unique from the first. And then, so if that's now the third's got to be unique from the first and the second, so it's just a little bit different than real portfolio management. But nonetheless, that's what I did. I ran through here. I did the portfolio management thing, and then we're just going to click on save all, and then we're just going to reveal and see what we have. So let me download it first. Again, why do I download it even if I'm not going to use it? Again, more reps. And God forbid something happens and I get distracted.
This is when you win. When something happens
that's true. But at least I know that I've done something that looked good at some point during the day. That's good. Okay, so now let's see what we ended up with after all of that. How do we find it? We go into contests, right? Okay, so go into contests. And the suspense is terrible. So I am getting, as far as pitching goes, it looks like we'll look at pitching first. On DraftKings, 31% Kevin Gausman, 26% Jacob Lopez. You see this, 25% Gowan, 21% Baz, et cetera, et cetera. So very, very little stands, I guess. Very little aggression as far as who I really like. Now again, who your pitchers are is pretty much dependent on who your hitters are, but just for fun, how does this compare to your pitchers exposure?
Well, it's great because I have almost exactly the same amount of Gausman using SaberSims projections, but then I have only 16% Lopez and 26% Baz. Or sorry, 26% Gallon. And I've got 32. I have as much Baz as I do Gausman. And I'm right up there with Senga, close to it too.
Nice.
So luckily, we got pretty different just by using different projections.
Yeah. Now I know and it's funny. People are like, well, why is that good? You know what I mean? Like,
let me go further. Using Goldie's projections, my highest owned pitcher is Gallon, then Baz, then Lopez, then Gausman at 23%. Yep. So we've got 3 projection sets and 3 completely different exposures using a portfolio manager that's going to try and smartly diversify. Yep. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and the reason why that is, everybody, is because this, ladies and gentlemen, is baseball. If we did this with basketball, it would be a struggle.
But you know what? If we did this with basketball, we would probably get very similar exposures on the best plays. But then on the other plays is probably where we would be different. I'd have 5% of some, who knows, and you'd have 1%, or That would be where we.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at stack exposures, keeping in mind. Again, I like to almost like pause the video. What is now? If anybody remembers, like, what would be the one thing that we talked about that might like make things a little different? And reason one thing again is the way we built our exposures. Was for the purposes of this video, required five-man stacks and four fours, while Adam just kind of let it run. Now because of some things that he said over the last couple of weeks, because I'm running 20,000, like maybe it'll all merge anyway. No, it would be the opposite, right? You would think that if you built 5,000, you'd be more inclined to be more demanding.
Yeah, the more lineups you have, the less demanding you can be.
All right, so team stacks. This looks like the Great American Chalk Parade, but so forget the 5-mans for a second. But I guess it should be all 5-mans. Cardinals, Colorado, Houston, Texas, Yankees, and when I look at 5-mans, St. Louis, Colorado, Texas, Athletics. So what do you got?
Okay, so I'm right there with you. I've got 23% St. Louis 5-mans. Then I've got 8 points. I got about 9% Colorado. But then it starts getting a little different. I've got the Dodgers a little bit over Houston. And then I've got Houston, and then I've got the Mets, the Giants, then the Rangers. So at the bottom, there's a little bit of a difference, but I don't know how much that matters because you're talking, 11 lineups versus 9 lineups. But at the top, we're about the same, I think.
So here to me is the real, fun part. Whatever I have to do this every single day. Is I'm gonna run now the exact same build, the exact same. Is it the exact same? No, it's not exact same. So here I am not demanding particular stacks, but for 20,000, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. And now what I'm doing is I'm doing this exact same thing, but in classic mode. Okay. I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'm going to use autofill.
It's gonna be like the White Sox.
What's that?
It's gonna be like the White Sox.
I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Brewers.
You think it'll certainly be just
Mariners. I remember when we used to use classic mode.
Yeah.
Only, and we got the low projected, high leverage spots. Maybe get some Toronto, some Angels.
But what's high leverage here? Like what's chalk even?
Well, chalk St. Louis, I think.
No, I mean pitchers wise.
Pitchers wise, yeah. Let's see. There's no pitching chalk.
Right.
At least not yet. We got a couple of questions, but one just briefly from Kevin Saul. We've got Flexen projected, not Ben Brown. So I don't know who the Cubs pitcher is going to be.
I don't know.
But as of now, Flexen.
For which team?
The Cubs.
Okay. Kevin certainly knows what's going on with the Cubs.
Yeah, I should know too. I'm supposed to be a Cubs fan.
Oh, that's right. Kevin.
Yeah.
You think your wife probably gave you the wrong stuff? She's a
My wife is a huge Sox fan.
Yeah.
And I'm a Cubs fan. I don't know how it works somehow. It works because I don't really care.
That's right.
I cared when I was a kid,
Right. All right. So let's see what this looks like with classic. Let's see what this. Well, we can look at it from direct, but we can save the contest first, right? So let's save the contest using autofill, and we're doing min uniques 1.
Are we going to build only 5-mans? Let's do that.
No, I did not. I went.
Okay, so I won't either, and I'll use Sabres and projections.
Yeah. So let's So we did it this way. Now, well, my top overall player is Zach Neto with 49%. Wait.
Okay.
Okay. So
50% Zach Neto.
Okay, so pitchers wise, 30% Gallen, 28% Baz, Who was the top projected guy I had in the other team? The other one?
Gaussman.
Yeah, Gaussman's somewhere. Oh no, he's 23. Oh, he's in there. Yeah. And then as far as stacks go, yeah, like all the Angels, like
Yeah.
60% Angels. And do I have any Cardinals? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go full 8% Cardinals.
So
So
basically, what this is saying is the highest ROI lineups are Angels lineups,
that's
but
correct.
you wouldn't want to play a whole portfolio of them. And then,
That's
so what you do next in the past is start using uniques to get away from that.
yeah, but bin unique per player doesn't really help. You know what I mean? You almost want
No,
to do min unique stack sort of. You know, it's like,
right.
but so when people ask, so what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to play? Um, I am going to, and what I've been doing, and I've been using the portfolio diversification method. And it's really just almost like a weird trust thing, like, listen, if they worked hard on it, it's their best shot at doing this, and it's probably better than doing it this way. So that's what I'm doing, and you know, I don't want to see
Yeah.
results or whatever, but so far so good. I mean, it's not like I felt uncomfortable.
I
Um,
mean, I have good news is if I use SaberSim projections on Classic, I get 45% Senga against the Angels. So
they have it. Excellent. Excellent. So I guess all this is a weird way of saying that baseball is tough.
yeah.
And that's why also it's a real good advertisement for not looking at who you have. I mean,
Yeah.
really,
The other thing to remember is we could both be doing it right.
that's right.
You know, it's not like there's one way to do it that gets you to the EV.
That's right.
And so
What about you playing any showdown tonight or no?
no, I don't think so. Is there
I don't
is there a
know.
late one? It's probably nothing.
I didn't even look.
I
Let
don't
me
think there's
take,
anything good.
while I'm here, just for the hell of it.
I think tomorrow there's some daytime stuff. What do we got?
Oh,
I'll maybe play like the night slate, but
we got NFL coming too,
we
right?
got 10K up top because it's Dodgers Twins, Dustin May and David Festa. Oh, Otani's opening.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dustin May is coming out of he's the PLR or whatever.
So how does that work? Do you get Otani pitching stats or hitting stats?
I think you get, I guess just the pitching. I guess.
Oh, so he's
I
like
mean,
hard to play.
I'm making that up. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I don't
that's
know. Oh wow.
I mean, you can't
Huh.
give stats, right? I mean,
Yeah. Wait, one thing we should do. We had one more question before D Pope asked about late swap, and D Pope asked an important question. Like, if my late swaps until the last few games, I'll change the swap setting to build one, swap one, etc. So you're keeping the settings basically. The question is, do you want to keep the settings on your late swap? I think the answer is no. I think you don't want to force anything with late swap. The point of late swap is to get different and smart ways for each lineup. So it may be that one lineup should keep its stack integrity, and the other lineup like had the pitcher blow up, and it should play like a 3-3-2 with all low-owned guys, and it knows that. Now, like you said, D-Pope, like it could be later. You could do it earlier in the slate and say, still keep my 5-mans early in the slate, but then late in the slate switch. I think the answer is you just want to let late swap do its thing. I don't know what you think, Sheets.
yeah. I, I'm. You brought up a point that I was going to make, and obviously you came up. You brought up is I guess you would think that the earlier in the slate that you late swap, the more you might be inclined to keep your settings. But and the other thing is that it's also possible that if you set for just you have to have 5-mans or whatever, you're really then you're really not going to be able to swap much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to agree with you that just at late swap stage, just kind of do your thing.
Yeah, T Pope also asked, like, oh, if I had, you said, well, if I have 15% Judge, I want to keep that. And if it went, and I don't think you want to do that at all, because it's going to see what the ownership is kind of projecting at it, how it changes, right? So if you're saying, oh, I had 15% Judge and the Yankees are playing later, well, it may be that he was projected for 5% ownership, but given the lineups that were played, he's now projected for 10% ownership. And so what you do with Judge is different. And so, when you get more information, you want to be able to use that as opposed to having caps or minimums. It's sort of the same principle, but
Dude,
yeah,
Kevin's out there. I had a good World Series backing people. So I have these literally just two guys that they play. You must have met them at some point. They play for me and they live in Vietnam. They're the nicest freaking guys. They've been playing there for so long, and they're from the United States. They moved to Vietnam to play, and they play like the live stuff in like Taipei and like Taiwan or whatever, like the softest tournaments. And they try the World Series and I've described them in this way several times. I mean, they're not great, but they're good enough. You know what I mean? Like they're good enough to play tight and kind of get there sometimes, whatever. And they had a couple of 6-figure scores. Like one of them got like third in like the seniors high roller or something for over 100, and then like this other guy got like fifth in the sixth in the closer for like 50. There was another one. So yeah, they made like 150,000 during the World Series, which was really, really good. And they're really nice guys too, which certainly makes it even better. But obviously shout out to Grinder, to Michael Mizrahi for making a mockery of the final table. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation where a guy doesn't give an F and runs like Jesus all at the same time. Those are very, very difficult people to beat. So he won the final table in like 2 seconds. All right, so let's see what's going on with FanDuel here. We'll save these. Oh my God, look at that, Kevin Gausman! Like every single bit of Kevin Gausman I'm getting. Let me just see this. Wow, 88% Kevin Gausman in portfolio diversification mode.
in portfolio. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
And then stack wise, it looks like this can't be right. 95% St. Louis.
No, there's something.
Something has
Did
to be.
you switch the diversity setting to portfolio from?
Oh, you know what? There you go. There you have it. Switch to lineup group. See, there it is. He found it. Found it. Okay, so to that point. All right, let's see. Let's see the difference.
Yeah, that's why you get reps, right?
Let's see exactly. Let's see the difference. So now, same thing. We'll upload my projections. Put it in here. We'll do. We'll do 20,000 lineups. We got a little time. What do I want to do with the stacks? Let's make the stacks 4-4, 4-3s, and I'll be greedy. I'll go only 4-2-2s. We'll take out 4 2s and 4 0s. Like ultra greedy here. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to 88. I'm going to have 88% Gausman and 90% Cardinals.
No, that's what's Gausman's ownership on FanDuel? I've got like 30%. No, that's the projection. 12%. I'm really spread out a pitcher on FanDuel. Let's see, stacks. Stacks on FanDuel, 35% St. Louis. But the nice thing is I have different stacks other than like on FanDuel than I got on DraftKings. So my two sites will be a little bit different.
Meanwhile, I've seen the White Sox have been scoring a lot. Have they been winning at all?
They swept Pittsburgh. I don't know what that
Okay.
means. Pittsburgh sucks too, but
So they're not going to get the record, I guess.
I think unfortunately they're not going to have the worst record 2 years in a row.
What about Colorado? Are they like
Colorado
okay.
is. Colorado has like 20 wins or something.
Oof.
Let's see.
Oh,
Colorado
oh
is
my God.
24-75. Do you
That
know who has the best winning percentage in baseball?
the Tigers?
Yeah, it's the Tigers.
It is the Tigers. Yeah.
We talked about that in the beginning of the season with the
Yeah.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Bobby talked about that a lot.
Okay. Let's see. Mhm. There's actually Kevin, a small, and Adam too. There's actually a small chance I will be in Chicago actually
Oh,
for the UFC card there.
when is that?
August 16th.
Oh, I gotta
I'm
try
gonna
making it.
try. I'm really working on it.
Is there like a live final or something?
No, it's the great. It's the
Oh,
card that
really?
maybe I can make it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. If so, I would definitely look both of you guys up, and we'll
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Oh, it's Chimaev and
Yeah,
Duplessis.
against
Yeah.
Duplessis, it's a sick fight.
Cannonier. Oh yeah.
Okay, almost done here. Now, after all this, I'm still getting all the Cardinals or whatever, and then I just kind of give up. But let's see what this is. Diversifying lineups. Now, in fairness, I mean, it is a little slow, but maybe just because 20,000 lineups. Well, like anything, it's good to know how slow it is in case you need to rerun everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll take longer. But I definitely feel in baseball it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. Here
How are
we
you
go.
gonna handle that with like NFL Showdown? Do you think
What do you mean?
20,000 is too much? Like you start getting in crap lineups, too many of them?
I think so. I think I'll
Yeah.
stick with 5,000. I think.
I think it might be hurting us to build that many for NFL Showdown.
Let's see. So here we go. Contests. Let's see the difference. Exposures. Well, oh my goodness grace, what is going on? Yeah, we're still getting all these Cardinals, but also all these. What is all this? I don't even know what any of this is. So 98% Cardinals?
Wait, go to
What's happening here?
go to the lineups tab.
Well, at least I'm getting Gaussman, Gallon. I mean, these guys look normal. What am I looking
Have
for?
the lineups tab, the tab on the right.
Okay.
Are you in portfolio mode or uniques?
I thought I was in portfolio mode. When they go into here, when you go into
Wait,
here,
let's see, go into here.
well, I
You're in
think
the
I'm supposed to
field
be in the right
lineups.
spot here.
I think now you will be. Let's see.
Let's just see. Yeah, I mean, this is sort by portfolio, right?
Yeah, you're sorted by portfolio. All right, let's see
I
now.
don't know what to say. I guess they like the Cardinals. Okay.
No, now the exposure.
Oh, they're no 98
Oh no,
percent.
90%.
And excuse me,
Sorry, something.
97. Wait. And 97% San Francisco? What's happening?
You're just playing 4-4s, San Fran and St. Louis. No, something's off.
Yeah, well, we'll save it for now, but that yeah, something will be off. We will figure this out by lock with FanDuel. That was very odd. Okay. All right, I guess that's pretty much all I had. I'll be around at like at 5:30 and try to make some heads or tails of this FanDuel situation.
Yeah.
And I guess that's pretty much it. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right.